Some people are really good at building, some others are really good at redstone. I think I am really good at making boring videos, and today there's no exception. I am moving a beacon from one position to another, and that's it. That's what I'm doing today. It's one of those things that most people on YouTube don't show you, and it's for a reason. It's boring. But you have to do those things, you know. Last episode I was placing ender chests everywhere around my base, so I can have an easier way to store my stuff and move them from one place to another. Today I am moving a beacon, and it's probably going to take me 10 to 15 minutes to do that. But it's one of those things that Minecraft is good at. the grind, the things you have to do, the chores in a way. But nobody shows you these things, and I'll show you how some of these tasks can be very boring, but at the same time pretty good, because it gives you time to think about important things in life. For example, the other day I was thinking about bubbles. Not the bubbles that you throw that you blow with some soap in a little... Not that kind of bubbles. I was thinking of the bubbles that sometimes we are in life. It could be, for example, a hobby bubble, something that you enjoy. It could be a work bubble. It could be a religion bubble. It could be anything that you are, in a way, eager, passionate, and slightly too into it, if you know what I mean. For example, I was introduced by a friend to a game called Star Citizen, and I was... how do I describe this? It was brought to my attention that the game has just reached $1 billion with a B, $1 billion in revenue, or in what do they call it? And backing up, because you have to back the game up or something like that. It was like a crowdsourcing or like Kickstarter, you know, that kind of project. So this game has been in development for 12 years or so. It hasn't been released just yet. It's still in alpha. And $1 billion in backing money. That's insane. And the main thing about the game is that you can buy ships, like spaceship. This is a space game. You can buy a ship. The cheapest one is like $50 that you need to start the game. Let's place a beacon here. And they go all the way, I kid you not, the most expensive one that I've seen, the most expensive ship that I have seen is $5,000. It's insane. It's insane. But if you are inside that bubble of that particular game, it's actually not that much comparatively to what other people spend. So here comes what I'm planning to talk to you about is bubbles. Once you're inside a particular bubble, then some of the decisions inside the bubble seem okay to you. They seem like, yeah, that's what we do, and we don't question it. But once you're outside the bubble, or if you're not inside the bubble at all, then those decisions don't make any sense. Like, absolutely no sense at all. Like, I will never, ever buy, for example, a $5,000 ship. Like, first of all, I don't have that kind of money to spend on a game. And two, like, I think that's insane. For a game that still has not been released fully, still in alpha. So, buggy as heck. But, you know, that is what people do in that game. It's considered normal. But if you're not inside that bubble, it seems crazy. And it could be said of every single other kind of bubble, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to get into like topics like of religion. Those are very heavy topics, and I don't think we should discuss that here on YouTube. I don't think that's the scope of this channel particularly. I don't want to talk about it. So other things like, for example, mobile gaming. In mobile gaming is normal for people to spend $20 on a microtransaction easily. And then you have one microtransaction, and then two, and then you, in order to level up or to get the next gear or to make it faster, you have to spend money on microtransactions. And that is normal if you play mobile games. That's what you do in a mobile game. You just have to spend money in order to advance. Otherwise, you need like too many hours in a way to actually progress. But for me, that I don't play mobile games, I don't like them. I think that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, they waste your time a lot, and they're designed in a way they're a little bit predatory. They're designed for you to spend money because otherwise you'll take too long to progress. You know what I mean? So that's their scope of the game, and that's, for some people, that's fine. But me, as an outsider of that bubble, spending $25 on a microtransaction is insane. You know, I will not do that. But I have spent money, for example, on skins of other games, like cosmetics. You know, they don't influence the game at all, but they give you an advantage because you look cooler. Yes? That's about it. Wait, am I doing this wrong? Wait. Is this okay? Just double checking that I'm doing this right. So again, it just depends on the bubble you're in. So if you're a mobile gamer and then you spend money on the game, but everybody else does it, that's just the norm. And then like, okay, yeah, that's it. That's what we do in this game. We grind and we spend money, and that's absolutely fine. But us as an outsider of that particular environment, we think it's crazy, right? So I was thinking about that and how sometimes we are inside bubbles, but we don't realize that what we're doing is like, it's just fine. Whatever you're doing inside the bubble, that's normal behavior, and we don't question it. It is what it is. So I was thinking, is there a behavior in Minecraft that we, as Minecrafters, we don't see, but other people will be like, dude, that's insane. Like, why would you do that? I was thinking, for example, in grinding for materials. Like, for example, I'm changing a beacon, and so far it's taking me 8 minutes to do this. So I was thinking, would it be people outside not just maybe the Minecraft community, but outside gaming, that think, hey, you moving blocks from one point to another, that is insane. You know? Why would you do that? That's ridiculous. But for us, that we play Minecraft, it's normal. We do this, you know? That is something we do. Alright, I think we're doing okay. You know, it's just playing Minecraft for hours and hours and hours on end because it's fun and we grind materials, for example. As an outsider of the gaming community, you probably would be like, that's insane. Why would you spend so much time placing blocks on one area and then you just place the blocks on the other side? Why would you do that? But for us, it's normal. I was thinking about mega builds. I was watching a video about Skyblock's Kingdom. Wow, English is hard. And they were saying, for example, some people were introducing themselves, and they were saying, "Hi, I'm so and so. I am a mega builder." I was like, "Wow, you just described yourself as a mega builder." If you're not in the mega building space, mega building is a lot of work, especially if it's a survival scenario. It would be a lot of grinding to get the materials you need, especially to begin with, or to make a farm to get the materials, and then to actually build the... I'll just get an ingot. And to build the mega thing, it will take you, what, 16, 20, 40, 60 hours, depends on the mega build. And that's normal for mega builders, you know? That's absolutely fine. But if you're like, for example, me, I'm not a mega builder. As you can see, all my builds are very modest. But as a... for me, it would be like, oh, that's insane. I couldn't build something for, you know, 60 hours or something. Let's say 60 hours, because I'm a very slow builder. I couldn't do that for 60 hours. It would be really hard for me to get it, you know, organized and grind so many materials. But I know I have a couple of friends, and one especially, he loves going in and getting resources. And I used to play with a friend who used to get a lot of resources and other things for the rest of us that would like to build something. And he will be happy to go and get lots of stone or wood or shock boxes or whatever it was, just to help out, you know what I mean? So I was thinking about that. And if you're not totally part of that particular way of doing things, or that particular you know, bubble, some of those decisions could sound very almost like unreal to you. Like, why would you do that kind of thing? But that is because you're inside that bubble, and that behavior is expected and also accepted, and which is absolutely fine. Like, I was thinking about that. It's absolutely fine to be like that, or to be in one of those bubbles and be part of it. Like, for example, I was also thinking about Pokemon cards and how there's a lot of, you know, people, like especially scalpers now, that are spending a lot of money on Pokemon cards, and that is okay for some people to do that. Like, I follow a couple of channels that have Pokemon card openings. Is that what it's called? Unboxing of Pokemon cards. And, you know, that money they spent on Pokemon cards, and that is okay for that particular community. So I was thinking about that, and how sometimes it's really easy to judge because you're not inside that particular bubble. And it's easier to say, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, you could use your money better, or you can use your time better, and things like that. But, hey, we're not inside that bubble. We are not equipped, really, to judge their bubble. We're not designed, and we shouldn't say things like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you should do this instead, because that is their bubble and that's their choice. So I think at the end of the day, something I would like to tell you guys, or say to you, if we can get anything out of this video, will be, let's not be so judgmental of each other, and let's look for understanding more than anything. If someone is choosing to spend their money or their time in a particular way, we should not tell them, hey, that this is wrong, you shouldn't do this. It is not our place to do that. It's their choice. You know, we should just simply say, hey, if it makes you happy and no one gets hurt or anything like that, then it's fine. There we go. And that just took me 14 minutes to do. So that's a beauty of Minecraft. If we can do something while we talk about something else. We can multitask in Minecraft. We are used to either mining for hours while listening to music or an audiobook or watching YouTube videos. It's all good. And now I can have speed everywhere I go. We have speed 2. You can't see it, but you have to believe me. Speed 2 around the base, so I can move a bit faster. I was starting to get a bit fed up Because on that area it was very quick, and now that I moved the beacon, it looks amazing here. Maybe we can put a purple glass so it complements the rest of the build. Let me just see if I can get one of those purple glass. Glass should be here. Nope. Here? Wait, we have blue? Can we do purple glass? Do I have... Wait, do I have purple flowers now? Ooh. I have an allium. What color allium does give you? Magenta. Okay. It could be. Can I just do that? No. Never mind then. Blue it is. That's all I have for now. Oh, this running like this is so much faster. Let's go like that. Okay, it has to be purple. Blue doesn't cut it. Alright. In between episodes, I'll make purple glass and then I'll show you what it looks like. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and listening to me rumble. I really appreciate your company, your comments. I read them all and I reply to all of them. Thank you to my patrons and my YouTube members. You guys are fantastic. And I'll make purple glass before the next episode. Love you and leave you. See you later. Bye.